Do you know how to target train your bird? If you don't, you should. It's absolutely amazing, absolutely essential. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Parrot Teacher. I'm David and today we are discussing an absolutely essential skill, and that is target training. Loads of you may be familiar with it, loads of you may know it by another name, or some of you may have no idea what it is. And if you are one of those people, do watch this video. It is so useful as a rudimentary skill for interacting with your parrot and in so many situations. In the video, we're going to talk through target training, going to talk about how to do it, best practice, how you can take it to another level, and also I'd like to give a big thank you to Northern Parrots for sponsoring some of the bits and pieces I'm using in this video, because it's always helpful to have a few extra props to show off with the birds. But don't fear, you can do target training very easily with very little expense. Let's start off with what target training actually is. Target training is basically getting your bird to touch the end of a stick. I've got two examples here, a chopstick and a little target stick we got from Northern Parrots. We'll talk a bit about later. Touching the end of this stick with their beak gently and then getting a reward. Absolutely simple. You may be wondering why something so simple can be so useful. Honestly, it is such an essential skill and it teaches so many things to your parrot. It is a fundamental line of communication between you and your parrot. Your parrot knows they have to touch the end of this stick to get a nice tasty reward, and you know exactly what you want your parrot to do, which is touch the end of that stick and then give a nice tasty reward. It's a basic first form of communication with your parrot, and from there it leads to so many other things which are very beneficial to your relationship and their well-being. So what do you need for target training? Let's hold up my trusty stick. You can just use a simple chopstick. Northern Parrots do these lovely short party sticks in different colours, which some Arconians especially find very appealing. Or if you've got a bigger parrot, you can use this target stick, which comes with a built-in clicker, which we'll talk about later as well. This is also telescopic, so this is the kind of target stick I would recommend for a larger parrot. I would probably recommend these smaller chopsticks or party sticks for a smaller to medium parrot, purely because this can be a little bit intimidating to some, although many will appreciate it and like it anyway. This all depends on your individual parrot. On top of that, you will also need some favoured treats. Now, if your parrot doesn't have any treat motivation, you don't know what your parrot's favourite treats are, watch this video on treat hierarchy. It is really essential to any sort of well-being work, training. They need some motivation to actually want to work for stuff. So if we can provide that through a high value treat, it's going to be a much better relationship and they're going to be much happier when they do what we want them to do. So we talked about what it is, how you do it basically, and it's very, very simple. But why is target training so useful? Now, we talked about the communication, line of communication. Absolutely perfect first example. You're just communicating with your parrot, they know what to do, you know what you want to do. It's a great way of building upon the relationship. But this little stick, or big stick in this case as well here, takes your hands out of the equation. If you've just got your parrot home, or you've got a parrot who may be a difficult rescue, this is a great way to start building that relationship in a positive way, because you're taking your hand out of that equation and you're also adding distance, and distance can be very reinforcing to parrots who are scared. The further away they are from your hand, if hands are scary, the safer they're going to feel. And once they start associating touching this with getting rewards, that not only associates this with good things, but it associates you with good things, especially if it's consistent. It's also very useful because it can be done through the bars of the cage, and that's through protected contact training. So if you've just got your parrot home, you want to build that relationship, or your parrot is very nervous or potentially aggy around you, just doing it through those bars can help them feel safer, can help you feel safer. You can start again working or repairing that relationship. It's a great way of doing this. Further to this, when you know your target training, your parrot knows target training, it becomes a great way of encouraging them to explore. You can get your parrot to explore toys within their cage, you can get them to utilise the whole cage just by moving them around the cage, directing them around, letting them see what's of interest. And it's the same when they're in the outside environment. You can direct them to places you want them to go, something they might find interesting. You can also use it for training as well and interaction, and also you can use it to take them away from places they don't want to go voluntarily. We don't approve of grabbing or forcing parrots, so if you can give them a choice of something they know how to do in exchange for a reward, it's much more reinforcing. And the perfect example is parrots who love to stay on shoulders, or a parrot who may fly to your shoulder and want to bite your ears. Very tempting as Arconians, these little things here. You can instead give them the option for a target. So you can target down your arm away from the danger zone, and you can do it all without having to restrain them, without having to shout at them, and all with them getting a tasty treat at the end of it. Further to these applications, you may be surprised how this simple stick can do so many things. You can teach them tricks with it. Some of the fundamentals of learning the spin or the wave come from target training. You can learn chain behaviours, all sorts of things. These all come from targeting. And it all starts with just that association between touching in the stick and getting a treat. And it opens up so many doors for you and your parrot, and so many ways you can enrich their lives, and they can have lots of fun. And it enriches your life because you can see them having fun and also doing neat tricks that can be used for all sorts of things. Now let's get my handy Northern Parrots telescopic stick again. And now this comes with an inbuilt clicker. As you can hear, very loud click. And people often confuse target training with clicker training. Now clicker training is just using a clicker to mark a behaviour and then provide a reinforcement. It serves as something called a bridge, which is basically a link between cause and effect. So the cause is they do something, and you get your bridge, which is that, and then you give them the effect, which is a nice tasty treat. You don't have to use this. A clicker for some parrots may be scary, may not work very well, so you can just use your voice. Clickers aren't essential, but they can be very useful because it's very pinpoint accurate. They do something, you click, it marks it, you get their treat, and then they start associating it. But don't feel you have to use a clicker, it's just something that you can use if you want to. So let's talk a bit about target training best practice. Now when you're doing your target training, now I can't reach my stuffed bird toy which I normally use, and the birds are in the other room. I will just use this because I think you guys might find it funny, and I'll put some clips on the screen of best practice as well. When you're doing your target training, make sure you come in from above and a bit further away, and then ever so gently bring it closer and get them to touch it with the tip of their beak or their tongue. Or if you're a shark, maybe the tip of their snout, you know, because you could probably target train a shark as well. So you come in far away, they touch it with the tip of their beak or their tongue, and then you give them a reward, which could be, you know, a high value treat. And that's how you want to do it. If they bite down on the stick, that's no good. You're teaching them how to bite, which you don't want. You want those gentle interactions, which again teaches them some best practice and could transfer into them being soft with you as well. We call it soft targeting, and we've got other videos that explore that in more depth. It's a great way of helping with biting or beaking problems, and again, where target training comes in so handy. Other things that are important with best practice is when you present your target stick, make sure you give them a cue. For example, we say touch, then they touch, then you use your bridge with your clicker, and then you give them a reward. Try and complete the whole cycle because it makes the behaviour much more fluid. Be consistent in the way you do it and always reinforce. If you skip out on that reinforcement or you're just clicking away and there's no treats, the behaviour is going to break down. So always reinforce and make sure that the behaviour is consistent. So if you reach this point in the video, you probably know target training is very good. Many of you watching this probably already do. If you're watching this for the first time, get involved with it. It's such a useful skill. Again, big thank you to Northern Parrots for providing the bits and pieces for this video. Hope you all find it useful. Please leave a comment down below on how you target train and what you found useful with it. But in the meantime, take care and see you later.